welcome back to my channel. This video is a good one. It's a good one. I always say this every single time, but I am re-entering my healthy girl era and I want to give you guys some tips, and I want this video to be motivation for you if you've been struggling with getting back into your healthy girl era or you haven't even started one. Maybe you fell off. I have taken a very big hiatus on some of the things like going consistently to the gym and yoga and meal prepping and all of those things because of some health issues. So I've been doing a different type of healing journey, and I have been for the past like few months, but I am slowly stepping back into my healthy girl era the way that I used to have and be last year, and I want to take you on the journey. And again, I want to give you tips. So I just got back from hot yoga and I am actually just going to quickly get ready as we chat. Okay, so I think the biggest hurdle when it comes to re-entering anything to do with bettering yourself is going to be the initial hurdle that you're going to experience, aka the stories that you have told yourself about how hard it's going to be or how long it's going to be or anything to do with change. You're just gonna have a story that's probably like not the most favorable. And what has helped me is one, just reminding myself anytime I start something new, I'm gonna have a part of me that comes online that starts chatting, telling me it's gonna be hard or I can't do it, or let's just put it off. Like, let's just find the perfect time to do it and then we'll do it, which the perfect time it doesn't exist. I promise you it doesn't exist. Are there sometimes, yeah, like maybe you're seriously so sick that you can't do something or you can't eat something. Like that was me for a while because I had a flare up with my IBD, but it got to a point where, I mean, even right now, I still don't have the most perfect health. Like I have some flare-up symptoms and stuff, but it gets to a point where I have to push myself and I have to get out of this mindset of like, I can't do anything, it's gonna be too hard, I don't trust my body, things like that. And so in order to get out of that first hump or get that motivation to actually start, whether it's going back to the gym or starting to go to the gym or eating healthy, things like that, I really like to choose something that I have the least resistance to, and for the most part I'm going to enjoy or I know how to do, or it's not that difficult, because you can always work up to going to a harder workout class or doing a harder workout. But if you're gonna tell yourself like, oh, okay, I haven't gone to the gym in like 6 months, or you haven't gone at all, or it's just been very difficult and you just have no strength for you to go back and do your like full-on workout or go back to a workout class when you haven't been in a while, like that might be a lot, and that is where you might want to push things off. So for me, I've been really realistic with just, first of all, going back to my condo gym instead of the big gym membership that I had, because I just feel like it was like less anxiety ridden and there's like no one there ever. And I started by just telling myself, how about we just have the goal of getting into the gym? I don't care what you do. I don't care if you do a body weight. I don't care if you stretch. I don't care if you just go on the treadmill and listen to music. Let's just get in the atmosphere and the identity of somebody who gets up in the morning and goes to the gym. And it doesn't have to be every day. Like I'll set a small goal for myself for the week, and it just helps you take that next step to becoming that girl that you want to be, or guy or whatever. Because obviously you probably have the goal of like getting right into the gym and like eating good all the time and being super fit. Well, how do you first start doing that? It's going to be through baby steps. Now, like I said, I just came back from hot yoga and I haven't done my hot yoga, my Bikram hot yoga in so long. And I was watching videos back like 2 years ago, and even last year actually, I was going to hot yoga too a lot. And I was like, wow, like I seriously miss the feeling of going to yoga and pushing myself and how strong I felt and just how good I felt. And that is what really got me back into just doing this class today. But in general, not looking at getting back into health and wellness, this hard thing, by feeling into what it feels like and how good it feels to take care of yourself. And I think we just forget about that a lot. Like I think we just get really tied up into how hard things will be, or like the change, or you know, sometimes we just force ourselves to do things we don't actually want to do, we're not aligned to. Do you know how long it took for me to get myself even back into the gym when it comes to like weightlifting and stuff, which I'm not even fully back yet. Like I'm not even weightlifting. I'm just kind of doing what I need to do, versus how easy it was for me to go back to hot yoga. And this is because I like weight training. Like I still do like it, and I think it's really beneficial. And it is going to be exciting to get back and like doing my deadlifts and my hip thrusts workouts and stuff like that. But the best I've ever felt is when I'm doing Bikram hot yoga. And I realized that it took nothing for me to book that class because I feel so aligned to that type of workout. And maybe you don't have that yet, and that's totally fine. But again, coming back to like, when it comes to health and wellness, you got to do what works for you. You got to do what you're gonna kind of crave. And if you're constantly like forcing yourself to do every single habit that you truly dread, it is never gonna stick. And I do understand that it takes a long time to even enjoy health and fitness or like eating well and stuff like that. But I do think that, you know, we see what's online and we just like follow the next person, which you can always get motivation from people. But I think that we really don't allow ourselves at the end of the day for a lot of choice and autonomy, and we just, again, try and follow what everyone else is doing without checking in and being like, is this really like what I want to do? Like, do I really like feel good, or why do I feel good? Like, what about this thing makes me feel good? And like, what about this thing makes me motivated? Or is there a way for me to think about how this makes me feel good even outside of my body? Like, that's another thing, right? Like, when you only are doing health and fitness for your body, listen, I wrote a book, The Ultimate Glow Up Guide, came out last year, and I really talked about the internal and external glow up and how I really bounced back and forth from a lot of these like self-sabotaging behaviors and stuff because I was so tied to wanting to change myself externally and not realizing like the glow up is such an internal process. But on that journey, I really had to release this idea of like health and fitness is only for the way that I look. And it's not even to say you have to force yourself to make it not be that, but realistically, like this should be a part of our lives, and we can switch things up, but we really should be having movement and eating well part of our lives. And the way you do that is feeling into how good you feel when you wake up in the morning and you're telling yourself you can do it and you're strong and your body's strong and your body can bounce back and this is good, this feels good. Doesn't it feel good to sweat? Doesn't it feel good to push yourself and your body into these like movements, for me like yoga and like Bikram yoga, things like that, or weightlifting, or even seeing your body change? Like that's fine. Like you don't have to completely like detach from aesthetics, but just like having a good mindset in the morning and eating well and fueling your body, like reminding yourself your body loves you. When you go to hot yoga and you get back home and you're drinking your electrolytes and you're making sure that you're fueling your body and having your protein and all that kind of stuff, and it can be fun. Like you can make foods you like, you can go to workouts you like. You don't need to make it this freaking hard ass thing. And if you do, then will you stick to it? No, of course not. So I've just learned over the years, like really enjoy it as much as you can, but understand you're gonna have that voice, especially at the beginning, telling you all the reasons why we should just start on Monday and like, no, it just doesn't make this fine. We'll just wait, or my body's not fully there yet and I can't trust it, this, that. Like, again, for me, I'm just coming out of a flare up and I really had to get through that block of being like, oh, like what if I have to run to the washroom while I'm in yoga and this, that. And like partly it's about being fearless and being like, you know what? If that's the case, then I go to the washroom. Or if that's the case, if I can't finish a workout, I don't finish a workout. But you know what? I'm never gonna get out of this idea that I'm sick or I'm not strong enough or I can't do it if I'm constantly staying small. If I'm constantly laying in bed and being like, maybe next week when I feel better. And yes, there's always that point of like, maybe next week you'll feel a little bit better. Like you can't push yourself when you're dealing with an actual like chronic illness, but there's a line. And I can say this because I've dealt with a lot of chronic illness. There comes a point, I know you don't try to be, but there does come a point where you're creating more suffering than needed. And you're kind of falling into that victim mentality and you need to push yourself. Like you have to remind that part of you that wants to stay small and to protect you. Like mind you, you're scared for the most part because you have had health issues, or maybe you do have anxiety, or you don't know, or you're new and everything feels like it's just a part of you that wants to keep you safe. But you really just got to remind that part, we're good, we're safe, we can do it, we're strong, we can get through it, we can start. And listen, when we start and we keep going and we take baby steps, not only are we going to feel amazing, but it's going to get easier. It's gonna get easier. And if you are somebody who has ever been in that era and maybe you fell off, like just remind yourself of how good you felt. Like I just think back to even last summer, I would say honestly last spring and summer, I was going to hot yoga all the time and I was weightlifting like 2 to 3 times a week, and I felt the strongest I've ever felt. I felt the best. I was eating well, I was moving all the time, plus doing all of my like hot girl walks. And honestly, yeah, like my body was banging. My body was banging, and it was just such a natural result of constantly following what felt good. And again, like I didn't have any actual like aesthetic body goals or anything like that, but God did my body look amazing. And I knew that. Like I'm old enough to know that a healthy lifestyle, the end result is gonna be a nice fit body, and it's gonna be dependent on how you look, like specifically, you know, your body makeup and things like that. But at the end of the day, like if you're eating well and you're happy and you're working on your mental health, you are gonna get great results in your life. You're gonna attract the right people. You're gonna have better health. You're gonna have all of these things. So really just working on my mindset has been huge, and I'm now at a place where I can literally say I've been back to yoga, and now, right, I have that evidence to be able to remind myself on the days where, yeah, maybe I'm not feeling 100%, yo, you can do this. You already did it. And if you starting your health and wellness journey is gonna take freaking 2-3 months, let it be that. Like I give myself so much time when I do start to decide like, okay, I wanna like re-enter this identity, or I wanna start this new thing. I really give myself a lot of time, not so that I can keep pushing it off, but it's so that I can give myself the allotted amount of time that we truly need to change. Like change takes a long time. It takes way longer than we think. Sometimes we think, oh, okay, this month I'm gonna get right back into it. It's like, sometimes it will take you 4 weeks just to get to the gym once a week. And that's fine. It's better than you going all or nothing, like truly. So anyways, I'm feeling really good, obviously. How do you feel bad after you've gone for a workout? And even throughout the yoga class, I just kept talking to myself. I just kept reminding myself like, you're here, you can do this. And I just looked at my body and I like spoke to my body, and I was like, thank you. Like, thank you for being so strong. Even in the times where you were so sick and you were fighting for me and we couldn't go to the gym and we couldn't do these things, like you have fought for me. You are being strong for me now. That is the truth. Like your body is so strong, and you just kind of take it for granted. Sometimes you don't acknowledge it. You also don't slow down when it needs to, like for chronic illness too, especially. We get really mad, or even just like normal illness, whatever you have, any sort of ailment that you have, you get really frustrated at your body, but it's actually like not your body's fault. It's your body speaking to you. Your body wants you to listen. So listen to it, adjust, you know, slow things down if you need to, but don't try and override it. And also don't get mad at it when it's trying to speak to you, you know? Also guys, this YSL lip, what is it? It's a lip shine. Is it a lip shine? It's a candy glaze. I'm obsessed with it. Like truly obsessed. Cause like, I really love a good gloss, but I need it to have a little bit of color, but I don't like a lipstick. Like who's wearing lipstick? Unless you're like going out or something. But this gives me the perfect amount of color, and it feels so creamy. Like last year, what I used to do is I would take the, this is Fresh Beauty, like sugar. This was the Summer I Turned Pretty edition of one of their sugar lip treatments, but this is a little bit more drier than this. And then I would put Rare Beauty over top. This was like my go-to combo in the summertime, which I really loved, but this just is 2-in-1. Okay, I just got ready. Well, I mean, I put on a different shirt and some jewelry. I'm gonna go for a chill lunch, so we don't need to be like super fancy. And it's still the middle of winter, so we're not gonna worry too much. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly talk about goals, and not in the sense of goal setting, because I genuinely just think that taking baby steps, like I said, and thinking about how you're going to feel and doing things that you probably have least resistance to is just gonna get the job done. And I also just think taking action is better than no action at all. But my main goal outside of just being consistent with like weekly yoga, weekly, for me, weight training, and doing my hot girl walks, and of course when it comes to like meals and stuff, and I'll show you what we get up to. But my one goal, I would say, is to rebuild muscle. Like I said, I've been in a flare up for a very long time, and I'm sure maybe some of you noticed, maybe not, but I am a lot slimmer. Like I am a lot slimmer than I was in the summertime. Maybe I can like put a photo, which is fun. It is what it is. But I lost nearly all of my muscle. I lost some fat, but I lost a lot of my muscle and I want to rebuild that. So what I'm actually going to be using to help track my progress just on like a week-to-week basis is the Body Pod by Hume Health, and they are kindly sponsoring today's video. I'm really happy to bring them to you because I think that when it comes to health and fitness, a lot of people think that the number on the scale is like the end all be all, and people can get really wrapped up and sometimes feel bad about themselves when they see the number on the scale, not understanding that there are so many other components that make up the number that you're seeing on the scale, like your muscle mass, your bone mass, your visceral fat. There's so many components that play a role. So if you're going on the scale every single day and you're not seeing it budge, you might think you're not making progress, and that can definitely get in your head. I have totally been there before, not understanding that you might be actually building some muscle and even losing some fat, and that's great. That's basically, for the most part, what we even want. I have been 140 with no muscle and a lot more fat, and I've also been 140 with a lot of muscle and less fat, and my body just looked more toned, but I was the same weight. So the Body Pod is the world's first portable body analyzer, which uses 8 frequency sensors to deliver precise weight, full body composition, and heart health to advance your weight and health management journey. So the sensors are actually embedded in the handle that you pick up when you step onto the scale, and it will scan your arms, your torso, your legs, and even your heart at an accuracy of 98% compared to other medical health scans. So 2 features I really like on the Body Pod is, one, being able to see what your body fat percentage is. So currently I'm sitting at around 22.3%. And mind you, this body fat, and it says right here, is your total body mass. So it will say fat tissue, including bone, essential fat. This is needed for all your bodily functions, and storage fat. So it's not just the fat that you just don't want. My personal opinion, I don't think that we should be trying to go in the lower ranges just because that's what we think that we need to, like we need to be a low body fat. No, it's really, really important for us, for our organs, to protect our organs, and also for our hormones to just be balanced and for us to feel good and have energy. Also, another thing that I like is body water measurement, and this indicates how well hydrated you are, and it is a key indicator of health, which I think is another thing that we tend to overlook when it comes to hydration. So if you are somebody who likes to weigh themselves, or you want to, but you want to get a more informed decision on what is going on in your body, definitely would recommend getting this Body Pod. It also can track your steps, your sleep, if you have one of those health rings, like an Aura ring. So of course I have a discount code for you guys, which will be 20% off, which you can use on top of Hume's current sale to allow you to save up to 50% off. My code will be on the screen, and it will also be linked down below. And my discount code will be valid for 7 days. And now with that, let's go get some lunch. morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. So I am currently being snowed in right now, and I will show you a quick clip of what it's looking like. And my plan was to go to Costco with my best friend today, well, at least this morning. And we decided, okay, we're not gonna go this morning because it's insane, but apparently this is supposed to stop later in the day, so we're gonna like pray and hope because we really both need to go to Costco. She just moved in to her new place and we've just been waiting to go. But regardless, we will have some sort of grocery haul in this video because I do want to show you guys some of the things that I'm currently focusing on when it comes to just preparing myself in a healthy way for the weeks. But for now, I need to prepare some of my electrolytes, so I'll show you what I put in my water to help me drink more water. I feel very accomplished already. I woke up really early, had some avocado toast, which I love a good avocado toast. And I did a little bit of cleaning. I didn't film it, but I did a little bit of cleaning, a little bit of self-care, just like twisted my hair back. So I'm feeling really good. So let me show you what I put in my water. Okay, so I'm not a natural water drinker. Truthfully, I could go all day with maybe having like a few sips of water. It's not the best, but I have worked up a habit of hydrating more simply by always having water bottles. I used to be somebody who would only just have glasses around in my house, and I feel like I drank way less water because I just didn't have like a big thing. And I carry my water bottles like everywhere with me. Now I have multiple ones. This is kind of like a smaller one. I believe this is maybe like 24 ounces, something smaller. I have a 32-ounce water bottle that I always carry with me and just drink throughout the day and put ice in it. But I always like to have a second water bottle that I put electrolytes in because electrolytes, for one, they hydrate you. It's really good for your cells, but it really does allow me to drink more water. And so if I can put anything in my water that will allow me to drink more water, I'm going to do it. And I think that this is like another one of my tips that has helped me just stay healthy and, you know, drink water or eat well or move my body is to do what I need to do to get the water intake or to eat healthy. Like if plain water is not gonna get the job done, then I'm gonna do something to make it so that I'll drink more water. Or when it comes to meals, I'm gonna make healthy meals that I actually enjoy instead of making them super bland. And I also like to give myself options. So some mornings I'll have an egg scramble with lots of fiber and lots of vegetables, essentially fiber. Maybe I'll have a piece of sourdough toast on the side. Or some mornings I'm just gonna have toast with the egg and put some greens or like spinach on the toast. Some days I'm gonna have an avocado toast. Regardless, they're all healthy options, or even oatmeal. They're all healthy options, but I allow myself the room to make the foods I actually enjoy and to have flexibility. I used to be somebody who would force myself to have oatmeal every single morning and it be the same thing every single day. And it's like, no wonder I don't like eating healthy. You know what I mean? So anyways, okay, if you guys remember, this would have been a month or two ago. I was talking about how I've been drinking a lot of electrolytes, especially with my flare-up. And so I wanted to try some new electrolytes, mainly because, okay, Liquid IV, yes, it has like sugar in it. I know they have the no sugar one or like the sugar-free one, but I haven't been able to get my hands on it because it is, well, I don't know if it's not available in Canada, but it's hard to get Liquid IV typically in Canada. So I was like, okay, let me just try and see if I can get like a different brand just to see also if I liked anything. I got the Organica electrolytes and I'm gonna be honest, they just did not hit. They're not terrible, but it just has such a light taste that it just doesn't really work. And I have found the trick with Liquid IV, you need to have a very big water bottle. Like you need to have 32 ounces or more, like 42-ounce water bottle, a really big one, so that it's not so sweet, in my personal opinion. I don't really like super sweet. So when I have a smaller water bottle, like this is like my smallest one that I have, I'm not gonna put the entire pack in just because it'll be a little too sweet for me. And I still want it to taste very hydrating. And at first I was kind of like, oh, Alicia, but like it has sugar in it and this, that. But I'm like, you know what? It is fine. This is making me drink lots of water and it's really not that bad. It's like, it's not bad for you at all. I'm just like being a little nitpicky because I'm in like the wellness space, and it tastes really good and it has electrolytes in it. So who am I to complain? So what I usually do is, like I said, I'm just putting in like half of this and then we're not done. We put two other things in our water. when it has electrolytes because I can't taste it. So the first thing is L-glutamine. This is specifically to help with my gut healing the lining of my gut because I have IBD and I just came from a huge flare up. So this is just important to me as a supplement. And then I also put magnesium citrate. This is the magnesium that not allows you, but it helps you when it comes to regular bowel movements because it draws water into your stools. So if you have any form of constipation and or just stomach issues, like for me, digestion is my biggest thing that I have to like really work on. This comes in clutch. So I like to add that into my water and sip it throughout the day. So that's what I do. Anytime throughout the day, in between my meals where I'm like, oh, like craving a second cup of coffee, or just, you know, when you're bored and you want to like eat something or you want to have a little bit of a snack or like a little sweet treat, I make this because it is a little sweet. Like I actually enjoy drinking it. Like again, let's not make drinks that we don't enjoy. Do you know how many times that I have tried to force myself to drink like a big thing like this of lemon water and it never sticks because I don't like lemon water. Like I don't like plain lemon water. It just doesn't work for me. Like I don't even know what to say. I don't know why I keep trying to, you know, force myself to do it. Well, it's like, oh, it's good for you and this, that. Sometimes I like warm lemon water like a little bit in the morning. I can do that, but not a big thing of like, you're not gonna catch me realistically doing that. And if it works for you, then it works for you. Some people will add like berries and stuff in their waters. Like again, you do what you need to do to get your water in or to eat well. And maybe it's not gonna be the most extreme thing, the most clean thing, which I don't think this is not clean. But we just, again, don't need to make it so much more difficult than it needs to be. I think that it really comes down to that, like our mindsets and the stories that we're telling ourselves about how hard things need to be, how hard health and wellness needs to be, and this, that. We make it way too difficult and it's just not necessary. Now, I would probably put some collagen in my water as well. I really like this brand, Great Lake Wellness, but I put it in my coffee in the morning and sometimes like I'll put it in a smoothie. So I don't want to like add too much into my water, even though you literally cannot taste that. Then I'm filling my water up with my filter. This is the Santivia filter. So at the top, you can't see it right now, but at the top I add the water in and it filters through a fluoride filter and then it drops down in that thing in the middle, which is like a normal filter, like a very precise, good filter. And then it drops down in here and there's mineral rocks and stuff in here, which release into the water and it makes it really good. And I just put some ice in this and we are good to go. This is something that I actually crave and I like, and I drink it really fast and it just keeps me healthy. And I typically drink this like midday, you know, in between like breakfast and lunch or lunch and dinner. I don't force myself to, but that's kind of like my in-between thing, instead of, you know, letting my mind wander and be like, oh, maybe I should have another coffee or a snack that I might not need. So with that said, I'm gonna just do some work. Like I have a lot of editing to do and then just pray that the weather changes and then we will do groceries. Okay, it is very much so 2 days later. We did in fact get snowed in completely, and then Monday was family day, so we couldn't go to Costco, but we just went and now we are here. I didn't even get any clips because it was actually snowing once again, but it's fine. Okay, so let's do a really big haul, or at least like a bulk haul. I haven't gone to Costco in so long because I don't have one near me and I don't have a car, but my friend just moved downtown and she has one. And so we're kind of planning on at least doing a big Costco run, maybe like once a quarter, which is a pro tip. You know, if you can go with friends to like Costco or even do groceries with at a place where maybe you can save some money, bless. So let's get into it. First thing that I got, Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt. This is so good for yogurt bowls, adding in smoothies. I use this when I have nachos. Like I'll get tortilla chips and I will melt some cheese on it and I'll put some vegetables, typically just tomatoes, with some chicken or ground beef, whatever it is, on a night where I don't really feel like having like the same meal that I have all week. And I just use this as a sour cream. You can literally do so much with Greek yogurt and it's really high in protein. I always get the plain Greek yogurt and just add my own sweetener in it so that way I can use it for things like savory foods, like even like quesadillas. I'll dip it in Greek yogurt, and also just so I can control how much sweetness I'm putting into my yogurt bowls. We got 2 big things of lettuce. One is all spinach. I like to add this into my egg scramble in the morning, smoothies. I'll even saute it up when I'm making ground beef. Really just adding it in anywhere. Like, this is so versatile, spinach, and it's great. Lots of fiber, which is another big thing for me, is protein and fiber. And that's kind of how I structure my diet. Like, I don't calorie count, I don't nitpick on any sort of type of food, I don't follow any actual like regimented diet. I just like to kind of focus on a few core principles, which would be higher fiber, making sure that I'm having at least protein in most of my meals, just because it makes me feel very satiated and full. It's not to say that I always have a meal with protein and even a healthy fat, which healthy fats are great too. But if I do have a meal without those things, I'm typically like hungry within an hour. I just really try and hit those categories, and it's so easy. Like, there's so many ways that you can eat. You know, actually what I do is I have a Pinterest board, and I can link it down below and you guys can follow it, but it's really just photos, it's no recipes, but I have it titled food ideas, and I just go and scroll and just save different like meal ideas. And so that way, if I have no ideas for the week to come, I'll be like, oh, like this salmon bowl really looks good. I'm gonna make that this week with rice and avocado and maybe some vegetables, or like make it into like a salad bowl. I don't like to stress myself out about following any sort of recipes. Sometimes I do, but that's typically when I'm baking. But other than that, I keep it pretty simple. And again, I just focus on those core principles. And I got some field green mix. Now, this week I wanna have salad with chicken. So I'm gonna have the field greens and tomatoes and feta and some like oil on that, and have some chicken. I just have been craving that, also with onion. And that's another thing, I just eat kind of like what my body also craves. If I'm craving a salad, I'll eat a salad. I try to eat seasonally and have soups and things like that, but I feel like right now my body's kind of missing like the salads and the raw vegetables and lots of fiber. I think that's just because I've been depleted of that. But for the most part, I'm listening to my body. So not every meal is gonna be the same every day. So we got a lot of these cherry tomatoes, these organic ones, which is really great. I love these. I ended up getting a bottle of wine because they have wine at Costco, which I didn't know about. And I like this Pinot. And it would be nice to just have like a glass of wine, maybe as I'm going out or getting ready here and there. Cause I feel like I'm starting to have more plans and stuff. And it just would be nice. Like, I don't know, like I like a good glass of wine. I never typically drink this like at home, but I figured let's just have it just in case, you know, romanticize our lives a little bit. All right, next thing that I got, which is my tried and true, I got some steak. And what I'm gonna do is when I make one of them, I'm gonna freeze the rest and then just pull them out whenever I need. But I'm gonna make one of them, and if I don't eat all of it, what I like to do is cut up a few pieces of the rest of the steak, and I leave it for the morning, and then I add it on side of like my egg scramble or whatever I'm eating for the morning. Because typically, at least for me, sometimes it's hard to get in a lot of protein in the morning because it's like you're relying on your eggs, or maybe you have like a bowl of oatmeal or smoothie, and you can add some protein in there, but sometimes it can be a little low. So I like to throw in the steak. So that's just like a pro tip. And then I got a lot of chicken thighs because this is gonna be for my salad. And of course I will freeze this. And it's just always good to have a protein on hand, at least for me, because you know, even if I don't feel like having a salad, I can add that on the tortilla chips if I want kind of like a Friday night meal. I can have it with rice, I can make a quesadilla, I can make so many things and add that protein in. I got a big thing of avocado oil because this is really good for cooking. And I actually wanted to get a cast iron skillet, which they didn't have any there. So I'm gonna have to look for that online or something, but that's basically the best oil to kind of use for that. So we will see. I still need to order that. And I got a really big thing of Balzac's coffee, organic farmers blend. And because I've been grinding my coffee, I felt like this is so smart because this whole thing was less than $20. Well, I guess it was like 20 bucks versus if you get a like small bag, like a regular bag at the grocery store, it's like damn near $15, $16. It's just insane. Like Costco really is that girl. All right, next thing. I got a case of Poppy because I really liked the Doc Pop, which is like the cherry vanilla flavor, and they also have the lemon lime and the wild berry, and I haven't tried them, but I'm assuming I would like them. And I really love carbonated drink when I'm having something salty like a steak dinner. Not always, but I like to have something like this on hand because I'm not gonna deprive myself, but I'm also not like a pop drinker. I don't really drink a can of Coke with like 100 grams of sugar. So I usually opt for something that has like lower sugar, or sometimes what I'll do is I'll get carbonated water or like a kombucha and pour that in a glass, and I'll add like a little bit of like orange juice or something and just like make it like sparkling. I figured I would get these because they were at Costco. I also got some salmon because sometimes it's hard to find like good salmon at the grocery stores. They just like look really gross. Like the farmed salmon looks really gross, and or it's really expensive for like not a nice piece of salmon. So I got Atlantic salmon. This should taste really good, and I do like, I was gonna say frying it, but I guess frying it or cooking it on the stovetop. One of these pieces of salmon with some like rice and avocado. Oh man, eating healthy really is like, it is so good. It really is so good. Next thing that's not food, but I got some Sensodyne toothpaste because I need some. And again, smart because it is a lot cheaper. Okay, so I have been dying to get Liquid IV from anywhere, and I knew that it would be the cheapest to get it at Costco. And I found a huge pile, another big pile of Liquid IV that I like had in the back of my cupboard, which saved me because I really wanted it and I was just waiting to go to Costco. But they didn't have the lemon lime one, and so I've never tried this one. There's two flavors. There's golden cherry and strawberry, and I was kind of like, I don't know, do I want, and also they didn't have the no sugar one, which honestly, we've already had this conversation, it's totally fine. Like there's 11 grams of sugar in one packet, and sometimes I don't even have the full one, but again, it's like not that big of a deal. And oh, it's sweetened with stevia leaf. Interesting. Anyways, I will let you guys know how I like this. I figured I would just full send it because I probably will like this, to be honest. I got a big thing of frozen blueberries. These are always good to have on hand for yogurt bowls. I love berries. Such a good antioxidant as well. And you can add it into smoothies. They last forever, so I figured I would get that. Okay, this was it an impulse? Not really, because I always like a good sweet treat. I got this really big bag of chocolate almonds. You know what? It is what it is. And listen, I really love chocolate for the most part, like a little like piece of dark chocolate or like even milk chocolate. I put it in the freezer. I'll have a little piece here and there and it just hits the spot. Lately, I have been craving chocolate almonds, and honestly, if we're thinking about it in terms of a health aspect, to not completely spike your blood sugar and or just like keeping you full, it's actually smart to have your chocolate paired with something like a nut. And so I'm looking at this as like a balanced meal, okay? So anyways, this will be good to have on hand anytime that I'm craving something. I got a big thing of Baby Bell cheese. Now I wanted to get shredded cheese for the snack that I typically like to have, but they didn't, well, they did have shredded cheese, but they had them in like big bulks. You had to get like 2 bags at a time, and that's like way too much. And this will last, and I haven't had these in forever. And it is actually pretty high in protein, I believe. Yeah, 5 grams of protein per one thing of these. So nice little snack to have on hand. And then what I like to do, and I haven't done this in so long, the OGs, they know, I used to eat this all the time. Beef jerky, the teriyaki flavor, so good. And this is really high in protein, which is why I started getting into eating it. But I like to pair this, like a few pieces of this, with some cheese and any form of cracker. I used to use Melba toast, but they didn't have it there, so I just got Mary's organic crackers, and they have like flax seeds in it, brown rice, quinoa. It's actually a really good cracker. I've tried these before. So that's gonna be a perfect little snack, which I think is important to have some sort of healthy snack, whether it is fruit. Like I love to have fruit on hand and something that has high protein that I can have. So like some beef jerky, a little bit of cheese here and there. It tastes good. Like it doesn't feel like I'm deprived. It hits the spot and it keeps me on my goals. So let me just quickly put these away because I need to. So another thing that I really want to focus on when it comes to my healthy era is getting on my freaking supplement grind, okay? You guys know how difficult it can be to stay on something as simple as vitamins. And so what I have decided was to find a supplement organizer that had enough room for everything, because honestly, I got this, as maybe some of you guys know, for the past few months. This was for my medication. Whoa, they come out. This is for my medication, or was for my medication for my IBD. So that's really what this was for. So I wasn't thinking about getting it big enough, but then I was like, okay, I should actually use this for my other supplements that I take, but they do not fit. So I looked on Amazon, and I'll have these linked down below because I think they're so cute and perfect. And they have 3 little sections, morning, noon, and night, which is perfect because I have a supplement that I need to take 3 times a day. And so now I have these, and we are going to make sure that we are constantly having our vitamins. So what I'm currently taking, if you're just curious, right now in the morning, I have 1 Boswellia. This here, I take this for lowering inflammation. This is like a natural anti-inflammatory. And most of my supplements, I should say, are specific to somebody who has IBD. Like, that's why I take all these supplements. Everyone has their own reason for taking them. So I have one in here. Now, another thing that I take in the morning is my probiotic, but it's in the fridge, and I already have a habit of every morning taking that. So I'm not gonna put this in here because I'm just gonna leave them out, but there will be 2 that I take in the morning. And then oh my gosh, sorry. Let's go back. In the afternoon, I have 2 of these gray ones here. They are iron, which is this one. This is the iron that I'm taking. I'm going pretty heavy with iron right now because I was, and honestly still am, very anemic. And this is from my blood work. Like, I'm not just assuming that I'm anemic. I am. I got the blood work done. This is because of my flare-up mainly, but I think for most of us, we're pretty iron deficient. So this is the one that was recommended to me, and I'm pairing it with one little supplement, or tablet, I should say, vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams, which is from this brand. And I can leave my supplements down below if you're interested, but of course, like, I'm not really saying this so that you guys can just get these. Like, you need to make sure that you need them before you take all of these. And by the way, during the afternoon is when I usually take my vitamin D. Like, honestly, I usually take it after I eat my meal. So they're liquid form. So these are the 2 that I'm taking. One is just mixed with K2, and then the other is just regular vitamin D drops. So I just take a few on my tongue. Like, that's very simple. And then at night, I'm taking this Fatty 15. This is basically another anti-inflammatory supplement, and I'm just gonna take one of them, and then my other Boswellia. And sorry, this one was the Boswellia as well. I'm taking them 3 times a day. So there's a lot in here, but I've done a pretty good job at having it be a routine to at least grab 1 or 2 of my supplements every day. I just think that I needed something to organize so that I'm actually like staying on top of it, because I'll like take some Boswellia some days, and then I'll take my iron, and I just want to actually just be consistent, because of course consistency is going to be the way that you're going to see results with some things, you know. And consistency doesn't need to mean every single second of the day or every single day, but you know, on a month-to-month basis, like, are you having, I mean, this is kind of outside of supplements, but you know, on a month-to-month basis, are you going to the gym 2 times a week? Are you at least doing your journaling 2 times a week? Stuff like that. I'm wondering if I should keep them stacked in here. These are not the proper days, but I will change them. I just want to see. I don't know. Okay, I just put them in here for now. I don't know if that's just gonna be like way too annoying. I'm just gonna put it like that. But either way, I am so happy about this. Like, this just makes me, it's really the little things, you know? It's the things that are not necessary, but sometimes it does make a difference, because pretty things just make you wanna do it more. Okay, so now that I have my supplements all organized and prepared, I have what I'm doing for my water on a daily basis prepared. I have the food that I need. I have an idea for what I'm doing for movement, which right now in my life is making sure at least I go to hot yoga once a week. I already have my next Saturday class booked, which I literally can't wait. It's so crazy. I just like can't wait to go to yoga on a Saturday morning. It truly is just the best feeling. But honestly, I feel the most prepared and like I've fully entered this era already simply by working on my mindset. Like, it's really about pushing yourself over that little hump of feeling like you don't know where to start, or it's too hard to start, or convincing yourself that there's a perfect time when there's not. And I've done that now, and I feel like I'm already starting to make that progress. I feel like the past few days, even when I wasn't vlogging, I have been drinking so much water. And you know what is so interesting to me, and this has happened a few times before, when I start drinking more water, my cramps for my period lessen so much. It's so insane. Nothing has ever changed my cramps like drinking more water. And of course, just me going to hot yoga last Saturday is making it even more exciting for this Saturday, because I've already been once and it's just gonna get better, and I'm gonna be stronger, and it's just gonna be more in my routine as we continue to move into the springtime. I have food that I look forward to, and then I can start prepping and over the weeks kind of get back into that. Like, it truly is all of those small little baby steps that over time build up, but also will be the thing that just gets you into that era. And so wherever you're at on your journey, you probably do have a lot of goals of movement and eating well, maybe even sleeping and mindset, all of that stuff. It can definitely be overwhelming, but just start with one thing. Like, realistically, I would say the first thing that kind of really got me to go back and like re-enter this era would be booking that hot yoga class. And then from there, I started planning, okay, let's go to Costco and like, let's get the things that I need so that I can start having like on a weekly basis, meal prepping more and just making sure that I'm hitting those main categories that I said that are important to me, instead of just having no food in my house and then eating random food and just not having a lot of fiber or whatever it is, while also just starting to remind myself of that mindset of, you know, you might get in your own way and you might make things more difficult, and it doesn't need to be like that. All of those things just allow me to feel like I am making steps forward. And I just know that, let's say come April, I'm gonna be so happy that I started this stuff, you know, even though I don't feel necessarily like I'm hardcore back at it, right? Like it's taken me a few days to get to Costco, and I still didn't meal prep today. Like, I'm gonna cook the chicken probably tomorrow because I had a wrap that was left over, which is totally fine. I'm really only going to one hot yoga class. Like, you know, things will take time, but I just know by, let's say, April and May, like when it's true spring, I'm gonna be in such a different place, and it's gonna be because of these small habits and the way that I started now. So if you're on any sort of journey, just start. You're gonna thank yourself in a few months. Truly, you're gonna just be happier and healthier, and really coming back to movement and eating well and hydrating. It's gonna affect all other areas of your life, right? Of course, it's gonna make you more confident, but it's also gonna make you feel stronger, and your immune system, you're gonna feel stronger in that sense. I always like to remind myself of that as well. Like, the more times that I get into the gym and strength train and go to hot yoga and push myself and drink more water, all of these things, like, my body is gonna start building up more momentum, and I'm gonna feel good. I'm gonna sleep better. I'm gonna digest my food better. Skin's gonna glow, hair's gonna keep growing, all of that stuff. Just remind yourself of how good you're gonna feel and how amazing it's gonna be, and find what works for you. Because if you don't, then you're probably gonna be right back to where you started. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this video wasn't too much of me like cooking my meals or getting into the gym really, because I'm just kind of starting out, but let me know if you want more videos like this. I mean, as the spring approaches, I definitely want to do a balance of, you know, health and wellness and getting back in there and sharing with you guys any sort of motivation or inspiration that you need, but also just living my life and going out and not only just living for health and wellness, because I think that there's more to life than just always focusing on this. So I think that the videos that will come out will be a balance of those two. I think especially on the weekends, I find in spring and summer, I do a really good job with balancing living a healthy lifestyle, but also going out and socializing and living my best life. So let me know if you want to see more of those videos. I have a lot of fun ideas for the springtime as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.